Hi, and welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
Happy Father's Day. You can see
Almost, yeah.
Almost.
Is it?
Well, no. When they
tomorrow
watch this,
it'll be
tomorrow?
Father's Day.
it
Yeah.
will be
next
Father's
week.
Day.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Happy Father's Day. Ignore this. We hope that you are having a great day celebrating or remembering your dads. This is our father. This was taken back in
the 50s.
Yeah, in the 50s.
When he was in the army.
When he was in the army, the Korean War.
He was stationed in Wiesbaden.
Yeah, in Germany. And I don't know if this was taken in the States or not, but we've always loved that picture of him.
That's why I did
So
that
young.
painting that sometimes shows back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's behind the shutter. there.
So that's our daddy. We are going to move the photo so that you can see Beth's lovely face. But we just wanted to show him off and remember him well. Okay, I'm going to go first. I worked hard on Hannah's top to the agreed upon length, and then she said, "Can I have another inch?" And I said, "Okay." The reason I'm anxious to get this done is that these needles are size 8s, and they're the needles I need for the beginning of my professional knitter certification, which I'll be talking about a little bit more. So I'm like, I want to get this top done, and you can see the shape now. It's really coming into shape. So it's a very long ribbed bottom, and so I have about 2 or 3 more rows to do to reach. She wants 9 inches from the armpit to the bottom of the top, to the bottom, and then I do there's a picot bind off edge, which I've not done. I'm going to have to learn it for this. I mean, I've done picot bind offs before, but I don't know how this designer has it. I sort of read it. I didn't read through, but so this is almost done. What's funny is when I reached the 8 inches that we had previously agreed upon, I had a little ball left, and I thought, well, this is probably enough to do the bind off. But I wasn't sure, and I thought I might have to play yarn chicken. And then she said, "Can I have another inch?" So here's a picture of when I decided to give up on the little. I got to an end of a round, and I was like, I better stop. So, and because when I started this, I don't know if you remember, I had the back on this ball of yarn, and then I did the front with a different ball of yarn, and I kept this one until such time that Hobbs bit it off.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? So I have this one started already, so I don't feel bad. But I also, because I was being overly cautious, bought a whole other ball in Boston, and I can't return it because it's in Boston. And so I think what I'll do with this and this is maybe make a hat or scarf or something with it. So, because, it's perfectly good yarn. It's great yarn. It's red. But anyway, so I'm almost done with this. I'll probably be working on the last couple of rows, and I'm not going to try it back on the Hanneken. I'm like, I added an inch. That's it. And I'm going to start the bind off. The other thing I've been working on this week is I started taking my hat to work again. This is the Musselburgh hat. A lot of people make this pattern. You start here at this edge with a very frustrating tiny pinhole cast on, and then you do increases until it gives you a math. You check your gauge when you're about here, and it tells you, when you have an inch or so in, you check your gauge. So you can really do this with any yarn. And then once you check your gauge, it gives you a formula, a table, to tell you how many increases to do to get the correct size. And then once you finish those increases, you go all the way until it measures, I believe it's 19 inches. I haven't looked at the pattern in a while. Because you're just going around and around and around, which is what is so appealing about this hat. And then once you reach the length, you make a mirror of this on the other end. And then you turn it inside itself. So you put that part up inside like this, and it creates a hat. And the other day I was like, this is going to be too big. It looks too big. So I was sitting, I don't know where I was, at home, at work, I don't know. But I went ahead and grabbed this and brought it inside itself like this, right? And I was like, okay, I'm a few inches from the top, so I'll poke it out the top a little and make sure my needles aren't coming off. Make sure they're not going to pop off. And then I went like this. So this would be what the hat will look like with an additional crown on there. And I was like, it fits perfect. So this is going to be my new camping hat. So see here, I just make another crown. So it'll be double layer. And it fits really, really well. I was really pleased. This is how I sit around my house with half-made hats on. Anyway, so I'm happy about that. And what I do is I take this to work because I realize I can't, I really don't have long lunches, but I can't do anything complicated, but I want to continue to knit. And I thought, well, it'll be good. I can finish this. Maybe I'll finish this by July when we go camping. So there's that. And don't ask me where I'm going for camping because I have not figured it out yet. Okay, so there's that one. And then last week I talked about going to the yarn shop to get my yarn for the professional knitter certification that I'm starting. And they ask for worsted weight, they call it medium weight, fine, extra fine, I think they call it, and then super fine. So that translates to worsted weight, sport weight, DK, and then fingering. So, and I know that the Knitters Guild likes real 100% wool, not superwash, because how superwash behaves when you block it, which is like you wet it, you set it out, you pin it to its measurements. And superwash always acts a little funny in that regard. I have the worsted weight, so I refrained from buying more, just trying to not spend $1 million. And then I purchased all these guys. What's in there? Oh, my keys are in there. That's weird. I purchased all of these guys. So I have the worsted, which is medium. It's the same stuff I was going to use for the hand knitter program. So I'm going to be using that. And then I was looking for a good solid colored. This is, ooh, this label's coming off. This is a 3, so this would be like a sport weight. And this is 220 superwash. They don't have this sport weight in regular non-superwash wool at the yarn shop. And one of their policies is as long as it's not caked up or wound and it's still in its label and everything, they will take it back. So I bought it because I wanted to go home and email my coach and say, can I use superwash? And I noticed that some of the swatches in the examples were made with superwash wool, but not a lot. And so I was worried about that. And so anyway, I bought this DK superwash, and then this is also another Cascade yarn, Heritage 6 in a number 2, which is a fine, so it's like a DK weight. And this is also superwash wool and nylon. And then you also have to get a sock wool, or like a 1 fine yarn. And so this is also superwash, but I got these 2 colors. You have to have contrasting colors.
They didn't have any that wasn't superwash?
They did, but it wasn't solid.
Oh.
So solid light colors. They had all kinds of crazy indie dyed, you know.
Yeah.
And nowadays, most modern sock wool is superwash. No, it's superwash. So this is Baracco Ultrafine.
So you can wash your socks?
Fine. Yeah. Yeah, so it's easier.
Yeah.
So they take all of these back. I feel a little bad because I got punches on my card for them. But anyway, I emailed my coach and she's like, we do allow some superwash because when you are a professional knitter and they're telling you knit it in this particular yarn, you can't choose what kind of yarn. It could be acrylic, it could be superwash, it could be regular. So so she's like, we do allow it. She goes, but it causes some trouble in blocking. And so I was like, that I think is a hint. So I'm going to keep these because if I decide not to use them, oh wait, I think I did decide not to use them because I ordered. Anyway, I'm going to return these, and I ordered the recommended yarns from Knit Picks, which I hate doing, but they carry non-superwash wool. And what can I do? And I love my local yarn shop, and I support them, and I shop there a lot, so I don't feel so bad. But I decided to return these two, and although I did buy, oh, that's not the right bag. Although I did buy, getting my keys out of here before I forget that they're in there. I ordered more yarn, and I did order the sock weight, but I realized I will use these on my sock machine. So I think they make a nice stripy sock, or two solid kinds. So anyway, I decided to keep these, and I'm just going to return those other two, so there's that. And while I was at the yarn shop, so a long time ago, so my son only has the use of one hand, and so he's always wanting to do something, and I figured out a long time ago how he could use this by placing it on these looms. By placing it on a non-skid surface, he can manipulate the hook. It's this red hook here that goes with it, and I've had this for a long time. And you wind the yarn in a particular way, and then you have two loops, and you pull one loop up over the, you hook it, I guess, in this, I'm gonna have to watch another thing. But anyway, you have one hooked in this, there's like a little groove, almost like a crochet hook. And then you pick up the loop on the bottom and pull it over top. And then you wind it again and do it. So it's a kind of knitting that is done on these looms. And he's like, I really want to make a hat again, because he had started it and then kind of gave up on it. And I was like, okay. So he wanted to buy his own yarn. So he chose this, and I think it's beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he kind of forgot about it all week, and he saw it this morning. He's like, I want to start that today. So this is Cascade 220 Superwash Hand Paints, and the color is Mossy Rock. So, and it's a worsted weight, and it'll knit up nicely on this loom. Bulky and worsted, I think, is the best use for these looms. So he's gonna make a hat from this, and that's what he bought at the yarn shop. He got the bug. He's like, I want a yarn. I want to buy yarn. I'm like, that's funny. So I think that's me. That's everything I have going on. I did not start my YouTube channel last night, and this is why. I had the afternoon off, and I was like, this is the first afternoon I've had alone in the house in I don't know how long. So I made myself, after I worked from home in the morning until 1, and then I made myself this big luxurious lunch with lots of a sandwich and veggies, and I sat and I watched my show, and I didn't let anything bother me, and I decided this is my day. So I didn't worry about the whole YouTube. I do want to make a YouTube channel. I do have that in my sights. But I also did not start my certification yet, because I'm waiting for these needles to get done with this red sweater. So as soon as that's done, I'm going to start full-fledged, and then I think I'll document it on my brand new YouTube channel. So stay tuned. So that's me. That's all. Who's going next?
You have some finishes.
Beth has finishes.
Yes, I'll go next. Let me pull this thread back here. So,
we had to pause.
there was a little bit of sticky situation.
There was somehow got caramel on the bottom of my cup, and then I got it on my fingers. I'm like, I can't knit.
It's like the cat.
And she got it on her fingers.
The cat in the hat, little pink stuff everywhere. So what I was trying to say is, as I was as part of my WIP-GO, my number 2 was these tiny modernist mouses things. I had the.
Would that be mouses or mice?
Mouses. Mouses Lucky Day and Mouses Beach Outing.
You got them finished?
Yeah. I did the Christmas one, Christmas decorating, Mouse's Christmas decorating last February for winter cross stitch camp. And these two, I have them like partly done from, I don't know if it's from Mania or whatever. I don't remember when I started them, Mania last year. So I thought, oh, I can finish them. They're very small. I can finish them and put them together in 7 days. I think I could do both of them over the course of 7 days. Well, I couldn't quite finish them in 7 days. I took 1 day extra on each one. But so Mouse's Lucky Day, and there's this one here, and the mouse is wearing a little green dress. It's all St. Patrick's Day lucky stuff. There's a pot of gold here. There's a little sort of leprechaun hat with one 4-leaf clover and the other, regular ones. And there's some quite little flower things here that you can't see.
They kind of look like clovers to me.
Yeah, they're a little hard to see because the cloth is a very light green, so the white doesn't stick out very much, but it's there. You can see it in person a little better.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this is Tiny Modernist Mouse's Lucky Day, and the other one I had was Mouse's Beach Outing. So there's a little beach hut and some sea creatures, and she has a little sun umbrella and a blue dress. So there's that one. And I did it on this funky olive green weird material, but it works. I think the colors really stand out against it.
It looks like a cloudy day at the
beach. It's a cloudy day at the beach. A rainy day, that's why she has a parasol. But there's a little crab and a clam shell and some fish. A cooked crab. And a starfish and an anchor here in the water. And yeah. And on this beach hut, I was like, what is this? It's supposed to be a life preserver thing on the hut, on the beach hut. On the top of it's a little more apparent in the picture than here. The white and the yellow kind of blend together at the top of this beach hut, but it works. But anyway, so there's that. So they're finished now. So all 3 of my mouse things are finished. I think the dog is choking on something.
She's always choking on something.
And
so she eats stuff off the floor.
Then the other thing I've been working on, I'm not quite done yet, is for June cross stitch camp, and that is I can't talk. Antique, Cats and Crowns by Teresa Vanette of Shakespeare's Peddler. And so the challenge was, of course, to take a monochromatic piece and to add a pop of color. And so I made 2 changes because it's all in brown and I didn't want to do brown. So I used black, and then for the crowns I used gold etoile. And so
now that there's more crowns, it looks really nice. So
I'm actually almost done, and I'm doing rice stitches for the lettering. And I watched there's a little diagram in the chart, but I went ahead and watched some videos, and there's several videos. That's funny because there's a rice stitch in embroidery and rice stitching in knitting, I guess. Mm-hmm. And
I have to do a rice stitch eventually in my swatches.
So
it's just very textured.
In the one for cross stitch, there was only, I think, 1 tutorial under cross stitch, and it's basically like the diagram in here, and you make a big X over, in this case, over as if it really doesn't, in the end, it doesn't look any different than if you made four blocks of cross stitch together. I mean, side by side. It just
adds a little texture or something to it? Or?
Well, I don't know that you can really see the texture.
Did you make them?
Yeah.
Have you already done it?
Yeah, I've started on them. They just look like 4 really dense stitches.
I can't tell
because
the
you make a big X over 4 blocks, right? And then you make a diamond shape over them, over the 4 blocks. So the middle of this block and the middle of that block. And so
maybe because it's in black. Maybe if it was in a different color, it'd be easier to see.
Yeah.
It just looks extra bold.
Yeah. So anyway, I did them, but I'm doing them. And so there's a couple more cats and a couple more crowns. One more crown, I think, that all go down here. But right now I'm working on the word cats. And I'm working backwards just because it was easier to count from. So I have the T and the S, and I'm working on, I just have 1 block for the A. No, 3 blocks for the A. But anyway, so I anticipate finishing this by the end of the month at least. Before the end of the month, maybe. Antique cats in the grounds. It's pretty big. I think because this is...
I think it's pretty.
28 count.
That's really nice.
But that's as big as it gets. It's 80 by 90. And I guess she did it maybe on 36 count in the model. And so it's a little bit bigger because it's 28 count, but still, it looks good. So that is Antique Cats and Crowns. That's by Summer Cross Stitch Camp piece for June. And then my WIP-GO, other WIP-GO number, 25, is The Reindeer by Cottage Garden Samplings. And I was going to start on this today, work on it today, but I had, I guess I took the threads out or whatever of the project bag that I had it in. So I spent part of the morning looking for the threads, and I had most of them. I should say I've got some of them. The chalk and bright light leaf are the Fancy Floss colors. I think one's a Week Styleworks color and the other's a Classic Colorworks, I think, or something. But anyway, so those are 2 colors they're in there. This is a DMC color, and some of the other DMC colors. The one I wanted that goes above this is the antler here. And that one, I don't know where it is. I have to find it. So anyway, I was gathering threads for this, so I didn't do anything on that. But I started my sort of secondary chart that doesn't have a specific goal, and that is this from the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, and this is from spring of probably 2020. Let me see here. Yeah, the 2020 spring issue. Where she did these seasonal etching things. The spring hair issue. Spring hair etching, summer catch etching, which is some fish, and autumn owl etching and winter cardinal etching. So winter cardinal I did earlier this year, like maybe in January. I don't know when I did it. But this is Spring Hair. This is by Cecilia Turner, Heart and Hand. And so I went ahead and started that one because I had the head threads handy. So it's Sticks and Twigs and Tennessee Red Clay. So this is Sticks and Twigs. I just started. There's like a little border, and then the hair starts right here. The rabbit starts here. This is a little ear. And so, yeah, that's me. That's all I've been doing. I've been stitching away on those mice like crazy. And the cats. But, yeah, so that's it. That's me.
Okay. So, one of my WIP-GO calls for June is Phoenix Viscornu Tiny Modernist, which, strangely enough, I started as an August Cross Stitch Camp piece. I thought, it's little. Yeah, no. So, this is where I am so far.
Little and simple are two different things.
So, I was working on the last, which is this one up here. Technically, I guess it goes this way. I was working on the last Phoenix and realized that I don't have one of the colors that I need to finish this little quarter of it. And I said, I did start a little bit on the backside, right? So that color that I need is used a lot on this backside. And I was like, I'm just going to wait. And so I started putting in the claws and the eyeball on this side. And
are they backstitched or are they a different color? I can't see.
The claws.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
There.
And so after that, I went ahead and started doing the back stitching of that same color on, I had already started that back stitching on this one up here, because when I was stitching the claws on the other ones, I might as well use that same color that's in my hand to do that back stitching. And it's a lot of back stitching. Excuse me. And I still haven't done the back stitching all the way around it so that I can then match it up with the other side. But it's a lot closer than it was, because I only had about this far on this Biscornu when I started this month. So, I mean, on this Phoenix.
Can I see it?
And if I don't get it finished, you know, tears will not ensue. So I love it, but it's not something that I'm like, oh, I have to finish it before. No. Very few of my projects are like that. So this time I brought the picture instead of the pattern. This is Seahorse, and I believe it's...
Ooh. Is it done? Oh, no.
No.
Yeah.
I believe I have it upside down. Okay. It's by
Did you notice
Luna?
last week
What?
how I put that over your face?
Because I kept holding up the pattern.
She's
The
like,
pattern
"Can you
and
find
the picture.
pattern?"
The pattern and the picture are virtually identical. The only thing that's missing from the picture,
The grid marks.
yeah, are the grid marks, and because it's got dots like where the grids would go, you know. Anyway,
But we're trying to be good.
yeah. So I am heading around this last part of the border right here. I had to stop and do a bubble. So I'm almost to the corner here, and then I just got to go down here. But
Oh, I was like, what does she mean to stop and do a bubble? I thought, was that a glitch? A bubble?
so this is two DMC colors, which Beth has informed me are Coloris colors. And this is a Weeks Dye Works color. And this is...
Hold it away from your cup. It's behind your glass.
Sorry.
There you go.
This is a Gentle Arts color. And if you want to know what colors they are, ask. I will happily tell you. But I have to say I absolutely love this greenish blue color for an ocean.
Oh, that's so nice.
The variegation is very subtle.
Uh-huh.
You know, but so at
It works
first
really
glance,
well with that
it's,
shell, with the shells. This one
Yeah.
especially.
No, I'm talking about this color.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like all of the colors I chose.
Yeah, but I mean, like, yeah, the variegation on
the variegation on this
The border?
Gentle Arts color
Mhm.
is very subtle,
It's
and at
very
first
pretty. I can
glance
see
you
it.
don't see it. But if you're looking at it carefully, then you can see it
really
goes
neat.
from lighter green to deeper green.
It's very pretty.
Yeah, And
So are each of the sheep creatures just one color, one variegated color?
yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, that looks really good.
yeah.
Good
Fish,
choice.
yeah.
Yeah, the fish is one of the weeks. This is Weeks Dye Works, and so is this.
Yeah.
I don't
Especially on
remember
that
what
seashell.
color.
On that seashell, the variegation makes
It's
it look
so
like
pretty.
like a real shell.
Yeah,
does.
and you want to know this shell right here. The way I got that to look the way the shell does is I started here in the corner and did one stitch at a time, going up and down, and it just automatically made
Perfect.
it look like that.
It
Spiral.
looks so much better than just solid would look. It looks so much better.
Yeah,
That's so cool. Good for you.
And then
did it.
this clamshell I did this way because
Right.
I used to pick up seashells like this. Now, they were not this color, but they have lines across them.
Yeah.
The lines go this way across the shell. And I wanted it to mimic that, and it kind of does.
Yeah,
Not
it's really
totally,
pretty.
but kind of. And of course, okay, seahorses are often used in anything with oceany things.
Because they're
right?
so weird and cool looking.
But they're in person, they're pretty ugly.
They're spotty. Usually they're like spotty, right?
Yeah, they're just this tiny little creature thing, and usually brown. And yes, I've seen several different types. I used to take Robert to the aquarium when he was little, and we'd go look at all of the little different.
They're so weird
things.
looking. They're so cool.
You know what's really cool? Jellyfish. Jellyfish are awesome.
They're so
Not when they get on your leg, like they did to Beth. But anyway, I'm really enjoying this. I definitely will finish it before the end of the month. It's just, this border is tedious. And I have to stop now and then. Excuse me. Sorry. Beth and I will be moving in the near future. And so I'm going through stuff, and I'm allergic to dust mites. And so I'm getting a lot of them, and my lungs do not like it. So I bought this at the attic a very long time ago. This is Praiseworthy Stitches, a Sweetheart
Etui.
something. Okay?
something
and-
French.
Yeah, something French. And it's these little birds, and underneath this says needles, and the other side of it says pins.
Can I see?
You don't see the other side on that. And
Oh, cute.
this linen is, I think, 36 count. And the holes to me are very tiny, and I was struggling. I think when I started it, I didn't have the proper glasses or something, and it just kind of was frustrating to me. I still don't. I mean, now I need to go to the eye doctor at some point.
So an etui is a small ornamental case for holding needles, cosmetics, and other articles.
And it does come with the red heart.
Oh, cute.
And it came with the beads.
Oh, like a scissor fob kind of thing.
Yeah, see the right here.
Oh, it's a scissor fob kit and a little thing.
Yeah, and theoretically they all fit in. It's a needle holder and scissor fob, and theoretically they all fit inside this little thing.
the little red.
And the instructions are good. It's just,
It's so little.
like I said, I can only work on it for if the light is perfect, if my eyes aren't tired. And so I've just been putting in, a couple of stitches now and then. And
Oh, sorry.
so I haven't gotten very far in it. And I thought, I should show it because I think the last time I showed it, it was only just this much of the bird.
The dog.
I don't know what the dog is choking on. Yeah, I worked on that. And, oh, I better take this out so I remember to take a picture of it. So, excuse me for all the noise. I think that would be so cute, that little needle holder, you know, and all that. And I really want to do it. When I saw it there, it was on the counter at the attic, and I was like, oh, that's really cute. And then I just, yeah. Okay, so I did a little bit of work on Sweet Wings Studio, Goodness and Mercy, and I adore this pattern.
Good boy.
Yeah. So I got the word good done, and I was tired of white, so I said, I'll just do some yellow. The yellow is next to the G. I could do that, right? And I used the called for DMC alternative to Summer Meadow, which is a Gentle Arts color. I have vowed that in the near future I will not purchase extra of the threads, the overdyed threads, unless I won't use it unless I have it already, because I'm trying to save money and continue doing something, my hobby, right? So I put the yellow in. Now you can't see either color from here, but in person you can see the white. The yellow, I'm very disappointed. If you look at the picture, the yellow shows up pretty good, right?
Mm. Yeah, it's tilted back.
Yeah.
Mm.
Is that your fabric or a kit fabric?
It's my fabric.
Oh.
I purchased this fabric for this project. And this fabric is darker than the called for. But I'm thinking I need to get a brighter yellow. Just to make it show up. The white doesn't really show up as well as it does in the photo. But maybe I just need to maybe I just need to be patient and put a little bit more of the colors from that flower in there, and maybe it'll look better.
See how it does.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I don't think it looks bad.
Yeah. So there is that. And yesterday I said, I have not worked on this corgi in a while. And I decided to do some more work on this little corgi.
Cute.
And he's so cute. So I started on this side of the body over here. And so before I didn't have any on this side. So it's coming along. The back stitching on this piece is substantial, but I shall persevere because he's so cute. It's worth it. And then I told myself that if I take out the turtles to work on Friday, I need to continue to work on the flowers on this. I did not do as much on the flowers last month as I had wanted to, because I was working on something and I didn't want to put it down. I don't know what. And I really... Huh?
Your turtle. Your
My
sparkly
turtle. My sparkly turtle, that's what it was. And because this is put one stitch here and then move to the next flower and put one stitch and then move to the next flower and put two stitches, you know I can't count. So that is a little bit frustrating. So that's what these little lines are. That's where I put the thread, because I don't mind carrying it a little bit, but I do mind doing one stitch and cutting off, doing one stitch and cutting it off. So
yeah, we don't play that. I don't do that.
Huh?
I don't do that.
Yeah. So this top flower is now done, and the top red flower. And this one just needs a little bit more in the center.
Oh, it's gonna be gorgeous.
Yeah.
Especially when you get to the purples and blues.
This little flower right here is done. I started on little
gorgeous.
leaf things over here. These little buds on this side are done. So I'm you know, seeing some progress. Is it as much as I'd like? No, because half the time I have to go, you know, and the symbols in the area, you know, in the pattern are so tiny that I have to blow it up with my phone and go, what symbol is that? And when you look at the symbol list, they don't all look similar. But when you look at the pattern, they all look the same. So, not all, but a lot of them look the same. But I shall persevere on that as well, because I can't wait to have all of those flowers down there done.
It's going to be gorgeous.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I cut myself. And then, oh, did I say that was Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts 2023 temperature SAL? Gosh, I haven't said any of the designers, have I?
Yeah.
The Corgi is Cute Patterns by Maria. That was a free pattern. Okay, so this is Stitch and Mommy's Temperature Turtles. And of course we are in June, which is the third turtle.
Get your red hot turtles.
Yeah. The third turtle in the
Second row.
so halfway through the year. So we're working on this row here. And we are already at the highest heat color that they have. Because they have 110 and above. It's June, and it gets hotter in July.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
And so it's reached over 110 4 times this month so far. And it's only it's not even the 15th, or today is the 15th. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's 2 different colors of red. They're very close in color.
I was going to say.
It's just below 110 and above 110.
Oh, I see. Wow.
Yeah. And I was anxious for it to be over 100 so that the pool wasn't so cold.
And now you're sorry you were wishing that.
No, because the pool is still cold. It's only when it gets like 115 and above that it's bathwater pool.
That's when I swim.
But it is warm enough that, you know, it only takes you a couple of minutes to get used to the water rather than, you know, creeping in little by little by little. I've never been one of those people that can just jump in the water when it's cold. I used to look at my son when he'd do that, and I'd be like, how can you do that? And we're talking
Winter.
way lower temperatures than now, because he would swim all year round. So, and back to cross stitch camp and WIP-GO together. By the way, it's WIP-GO weekend.
What does that mean?
It's just where we all just are going to work just on our WIP-GO projects over the weekend and you know, try to get them cranked out. So today the only thing I'm going to work on is this. And then tomorrow, because today is the 15th, so tomorrow I will be working on this. And the reason I bring up cross stitch camp is that if you look at this pattern, the colors are very muted, And she even says that you have to get, I don't know what, some kind of, I don't think she suggests fabric. Stop whatever you're chewing on, you need to stop. What are you eating? Sorry, I can tell she's eating something naughty.
Come here, Bo.
Um,
Come here, Bo.
very pale colors and all that, and I tried to do it in the called for colors. I don't dislike them, but they're all very muted colors. And I kept trying it on different fabrics that I thought, okay, it'll look good on this. I didn't like the way it looked. The darker fabrics that I thought these would show up on, I felt like some of them clashed with it a little bit, and I restarted this pattern, I don't know, 4 times or something.
I remember.
And I had purchased this DMC malachite fabric, and I wanted to do this on that. And because, you know, see the little ocean waves? And I tried the colors on this, and they didn't show up at all. So I just changed all the colors. I don't think there's a single called for, maybe one, in this pattern. I had to write the numbers on the back of this picture so that I remember what I substituted. And so when I saw that the cross stitch camp challenge for July is about changing colors to more your taste and what you like, I'm like, I do that all the time. I even picked a pattern already. It's a little tiny free pattern. It's itty bitty. But I like it. I just don't like the colors at all. And I never would have stitched it in the colors that are there. I would have just changed them. They're a little too, it's a cute pattern by Tiny Modernist, but they're a little too, what is the word I want to use? Girly for me. I like sparkly, and I like bold, and I like color, and so that's why I was just loving the cross stitch camp challenge for this month. It's like, take a one color piece and not stitch it one color. Yes. Because I think there was a challenge at some point to stitch a one color piece, and I tried, and it's about half done. I changed the color that it was done in. It's about half done, and I'm like, I might have to, what's it called when you just, nope, I'm not doing that. Because
UFO it?
Yeah. Because there's nothing wrong with the pattern. But I don't like to do things in just one color. One color does not attract me. So,
Okay.
that's me.
That's you?
Yes. And so when we're speaking of heat and swimming, I have a funny story, which I don't think I told. My dog likes to go outside with me when I'm swimming, and behind our house is a busy road with lots of trees and plants, and then our neighbors, of course, have plants, and all of the plant matter ends up in our backyard. And I say that to preface the fact that we don't have plants. Well, now we have one, but we don't have plants in the backyard. If we have a plant, it's a weed. And so there's always stuff back there that she's looking at and trying to see what she wants to mess with, right? And I was in the pool, and she came to look at, she will not get in the water, period. She didn't care how hot it is. I'm not getting in that water. See, she just said, yeah, I agree. And so I'm in the water, and she comes up to the edge, and I looked at her, and I thought she had like leaves or something in her mouth, and that had just stuck to her little beard. So I grabbed them what I thought was on the hair, but actually it was in her mouth. And it was a dead, stiff lizard about this long. And I was like, ah!
It's like, Mom, I found some jerky. I found some lizard jerky.
I was like, you brought me a dead lizard?
Oh my
I was like, oh my God. Yeah, so, yeah, that was pretty funny.
It's lizard season for sure. There, we have a giant picture window in our dining room. I'm sure you've seen it on some of our episodes. And at night, they just sit on the window with their big fat pinky bellies that are almost see-through. Sit there, and the cats go nuts, nuts.
And not too long ago, a lizard got in the house.
Yeah.
And it went into what was my parents' bathroom. And we couldn't find it. And Robert said, just charge him rent. Something like that. And then another day he says to me, the lizard was evicted. He didn't kill it. He just threw it outside. Yeah, we don't kill lizards. The cats might, the dog might chase it, but I like lizards. They eat bugs.
I love it. Yeah, I don't mind them, but the cats they pull their legs off and
I
stuff
saw
like that.
The cats torture them. Yeah,
I saw a Far Side cartoon where I can't remember what animals they were, but but one of them, they were standing beside each other, and the covers on this bed were pulled back, and there was like a lizard tail, and the one animal, I don't know what they were, what creature, told the other one, you fell for the oldest chick in the book, because it's the tail of the lizard.
I just if she had brought me a live lizard, I would have made her drop it and let it go and hope that it wouldn't die. And I know that in the natural kingdom, animals kill other animals. I don't want to witness it. I don't want to think about it. Like, there's coyotes and bobcats in our general area here. And I don't want anything to happen to them. And I don't want to know that they're eating the bunnies in my neighborhood. I don't want to know that they're catching the quail in my neighborhood, and I certainly don't want to know that they eat pets in our general neighborhood. On the other hand, I don't want them to die. So I just don't think about it, and I just try to ignore the danger with my dog and just try to only have her out at times when they wouldn't be hunting. And
yeah, so I can't watch nature documentaries anymore because they always, as nature filmers or whatever, they don't intervene, and so they'll film, there were two movies that I saw, two shows or whatever that I saw that kind of in a row, kind of close to in proximity at the time that I watched them, and I thought after that I was like, I can't watch it anymore. One of them was some lions hunting water buffalo, and they were a whole bunch of them. Like, one of them jumped on the water buffalo's snout and was suffocating it, and the other ones were on its back, and it was, of course, an older, sicklier, whatever water buffalo, and that's why they had singled him out of the pack, and so they were, and I was like, I feel bad for the water buffalo, because I was like, how horrible and terrifying to have, one of the lions tearing up your skin and the other one suffocating you on your snout, and then the other one I saw was, again,
but you don't feel bad for the lion who has to eat.
I don't. I just,
But here's the thing about that: animals they don't kill for joy. Mm-hmm. And usually the kill is very quick. Mm. Unless it's a cat, which they tease it and play with it for a while.
But you just don't like it.
I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
You know, I know it happens. I don't want to watch sharks eat fish. I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch. You know, something eating. You know, anything, and I know it happens, but I don't have to watch it. On the other hand, I watch crime shows all the time.
The other one that I saw, that and like I said, this was what kind of, you know, but there was like a big watering hole, and all the animals are coming to drink water, and of course the prey animals were very skittish because you know, of course they're vulnerable to the hunting animals that, you know, and the hunting animals know, they're all drinking water, we can get them. And so, like that one, it's in a commercial for one of those, like, not Mutual Omaha Wild Kingdom, but one of those things where an alligator is in a pond and it bites off the leg of a gazelle or something. It just comes up out of the water and chomps off its leg, you know. But the one that I saw was, you know, so they're all out of this watering hole, and they're all the herds are all mixed up. And so there's a big herd of wildebeest and a big herd of zebras. And one of the little wildebeest calves gets separated from its mother. And so it's wandering around this herd trying to find its mother. And all the other adult wildebeest are like, you know, get away, get away, get away.
That's horrible.
And
don't talk about it then.
And they
you
chase,
don't want to read it, but you're telling everybody
they chase
about
the little wildebeest away, you know, from them because it's not their child and they don't want the you know. And so it's bleeding, blah, blah, looking for its mother, and it can't find its mother, and
so she keeps telling the story.
And so the zebras,
it's sad. Nobody wants to hear it.
The zebras,
she's still gonna tell it.
Are trying to chase the wildebeest away because the little wildebeest in distress will attract the predators, and so they're chasing it away, and like at one point the little wildebeest gets tired and he's all collapsed on the ground, and so the zebras are like biting him and like picking him up to get him away, and he won't, and so he wanders away a little bit, and then he's tired, and you know, and so finally, you know, he's crying for his mother, and one of the wildebeests kicks him in the head and kills him. And I'm like,
You mean one of the zebras.
Okay,
and
so why did you
that's
tell
why
us that story?
Because it's horrible. Because that's why I don't watch it. Because I'll sit there like, oh, look at the little animals. I'm like, no, I can't watch it.
Yeah, but you know,
Meerkat Manor. I stopped.
So
I was like, oh, they're so cute, and I stopped watching it
more.
because it was, you know.
So
now you've traumatized everyone on our videos.
So
I don't like zebras anymore.
So
oh my gosh.
They're only doing what they need to do to preserve their lives. So I mean, it's sad for the baby, but it wouldn't have survived without his mother anyway. So it's not just the Wild Kingdom, okay? I often watch shows with vets and stuff, and they bring in chickens that the other chicken has pecked it all up.
Chickens are ruthless and mean.
Yes.
As cute as they are, and I love them, they are
and we're not talking
nice.
Roosters. I'm talking chickens.
Oh no, chickens are mean.
Yeah.
What was I going to tell you? That I forgot now what I was going to say about oh man, you come back. I completely lost my train of thought.
When I said chickens, it made you lose your train of thought.
Yeah,
sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't know what I was going to say. It was something about animals, but
yeah, I can watch.
No. What shocks me more when I watch a nature show where I see an animal killing or like that, where it's not like those zebras. Obviously, they were doing it out of instinct and survival, right? Can't blame them. Can't not like them anymore. But what shocks me is the documentary folks, the people who are filming it, who like, you could probably save that baby. But, you know, they're committed to, you know, do the prime directive and not interfere. But yeah, I always think about that. Like, why are you filming this? Go help it. But you can't. But, yeah, no, it's those things are hard. On a lighter note.
No, I remember seeing, like, I think it was Will Smith was talking about Independence Day and how, you know, there's the one scene where his character's girlfriend and her son they're, you know, trying to get away from the aliens, you know, coming and wherever. And they have a dog named Boomer, right? And so at one point, you know, they're, I don't know, stuck in a tunnel, I guess, and there's a big fireball coming up, you know, coming through the tunnel and destroying everybody. And so she and her son jump out of the car, and they're, you know, calling for the dog, you know, and at the last second, the dog, you know, leaps out of the car, and you know, they escape the fireball in the little alcove thing or whatever. And he was talking about how, you know, because in that movie, you know, all these people are getting killed by the aliens and whatever.
But
you
don't
kill that dog. Yeah.
I assume you've never seen John Wick, the first John Wick movie. Do not watch that movie. You know, if you all have seen it, you all know there is an awful scene where these people kill his puppy. And I'm like, that would make me go on a murderous rampage. Just that. But yeah, they kill the pup. I could not. I'm watching this. And I cannot believe they killed it. Okay, I don't want to talk about killing animals anymore. No, stop.
Like no.
She won't stop.
Oh,
you got her started on a tangent.
Oh, brother, where art thou?
Yeah,
it's very funny. But there's that horrible scene with Pretty Boy Floyd when they meet him on the he picks him up on this road. There, he's like, "Is this the road to Itabina?" Whatever. Mm-hmm. And so the police are chasing him, and so he has them get in, and they're driving away, and then he tells what's his face to grab the wheel, and he leans out the window with the machine gun, and he's shooting at the cops, and then he says, "Cows, I hate cows," and he shoots all the cows. and there's, you know, and there was somebody I was watching one of those first time watching, and there's like that scene with the cows, and the scene where John Goodman kills the frog, and there's the scene at the end when everything's flooding and there's a dog floating in the water.
Yeah,
this was like, this movie is not kind to animals.
Oh my god,
it's very funny, but it's not kind to animals.
Oh my god, it's funny. Oh gosh. Okay, so
sorry that we got on this weird tangent.
Sorry. Okay, I want to tell you a funny story. I went to 7-Eleven the other night, and just like, I don't know, Eli was like, "I want a Pop-Tart," in the middle of the night. So anyway, we went to 7-Eleven, and they have this whole, I guess they have a whole like campaign of like, for their slushies, I guess. And the cups, the slushy cups, have like, they're plastic and they're printed, but they look like sweaters because it's cold. And so they also sell these little scarves that you can buy for your cup. And I just was like, that is hysterical. So I bought one and I put it on my cup because I just got a, you know, what do you call them? Big Gulp. What do they call them at 7-Eleven? They're not Big Gulps. Big Gulps is Circle K, right?
I don't know.
Anyway.
No, I haven't been to a 7-Eleven.
Circle K is Polar Pop.
Polar Pop. Yeah. No, it's a Big Gulp. So I put it on my cup when I got home. I just had Diet Coke like this. And although 7-Eleven sells Diet Pepsi, and it is better. We all know this. Some of us know this. Anyway, I had it on there, and I was like so happy. And then when I went, I'm like, I can't keep that cup forever, but I'll take that scarf on Saturday when we film. So I took it off the cup a few days ago, and I put it on my little end table by my chair. And then I thought about it this morning. I was like, oh, I'm going to go get the sodas, and I'll take my little scarf. And I look, and it's gone.
Did Mark throw it away?
No. Who do you think stole a knitted item? Nowhere to be found. It's probably under my bed. It's probably torn to shreds. Although it's acrylic wool, I don't know why he would take it. It was a knitted thing left for him. So anyway, I had a little. It was bright green. It was so cute. I'll have to get another one. But when I went to get these this morning, I was like, "Is McDonald's aware of the child labor laws?" Because we pulled to the window to get the drinks, and this little tiny child comes to the like, "You have 4 Diet Cokes?" Yeah, And I turned to Eli and I'm like, I think she needs to get back to elementary school. I think her 3rd grade teacher just called. She looked 10.
That's
so
a sign
funny.
that you're getting older.
I know. I know.
Yeah, it happens to me all the time. I'm like, really? Really? They're old enough to drive? or like that police officer that came here, I'm like, do you even shave? I mean, he was so young.
I know.
Doogie Howser.
What was I going to say? Oh, speaking of feeling old. Okay. I got to work the other day and I found one of my colleagues, Nicole. She is younger than me still, but she's still in my era, you know? And I went in to her and I said, Nicole, I have to tell you this because you're the only person in this office that probably really understands. I said, this morning we were driving in and Boys of Summer came on the radio and it made me feel all the things. And she's like, I understand. I get you. All these children here won't understand, but you understand. You know, just the opening of that song, because I just feel like all my high school, like, riding in the car at night on my own with my license and my window open and like, you know what I mean? Like, just that, So I had to go tell her, like, you'll understand what I'm saying.
Yeah,
then,
you know, all the songs from when I was in high school.
Oh yeah, you don't even understand. You were old by the time that song
No,
came.
I don't know that song, but all the songs when I hear from my high school years, I hear them and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that song. And now as an adult, I'm like, but it's kind of a dirty song.
Yeah, I know. I know. You're like, oh, I'm sorry, children, you can't listen to that. No, so like right now, it's funny. I tell the kids because I started a Spotify list. I only got through the first 10 years of my life, and then I need to go back. So from 67 to 77. So I went through like the top 100 lists of each year, and I picked the songs that I remembered, whether they were I don't know what number they were or they weren't, and I'm like, some of the songs I hated when I was a kid. I hated them, and now I love them because and that's why I tell the kids, it doesn't have to be good, it only has to be nostalgic. Same thing with a lot of 80s. So last night I watched the documentary called Brats on Hulu.
Oh yeah.
Andrew McCarthy made a documentary about the Brat Pack and kind of the effects that label had on them. Mostly negative. It's really good. It's on Hulu. I guess he also wrote a book. But but it's full of music and so those the 3-ish movies they mostly talk about are, of course, Breakfast Club and St. Elmo's Fire. I did not realize that those movies came out only months apart. Breakfast Club came out in February, and St. Elmo's Fire came out in September of 1985. That's the year I graduated from high school. Like it was, and of course, Breakfast Club is so culturally defining. Like it is. I still watch that movie and I'm still amazed by it. And it's anyway. And then Pretty in Pink came out the February of '86. So like,
and 16 Candles.
I think that came out before that, but it was like this era of this focus on youth in the movies that took youth seriously, kind of thing. It was very interesting. It's an interesting documentary, but of course it's full of all that music and just all those, and it's a really great nostalgia piece, and I don't know, it's really interesting how some of them took the whole Brat Pack label as negative, and some of them were like, it was kind of negative, but I moved on, and some were like devastated by it. Some kind of parlayed it into more. It was just really, really interesting how they all individually reacted to it. But
I think that often the news media, when I don't mean just like regular news, I mean like entertainment news. They love to label things and group things.
they even talked to the
Like
author.
the Rat Pack.
Right. Well, it was a play on the Rat Pack.
Yeah, I know.
And
yeah,
they talked to the author of that, of the article. It was really interesting. He confronted him about it, and it was very eye opening. And also as part of it, he went to see Malcolm Gladwell. I was like, Malcolm Gladwell, my favorite author. So because he talked to him about because once that article came out, it was catchy, and then everybody said it. I don't remember the article. I don't remember anything negative about it. I remember them.
I just remember the label.
The label,
Yeah.
but not. I never thought of it as negative.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
But
I think most people thought of it as like, that's a cool club that everybody wishes they were in. You know, like, but, and I think there's something to be said for the ensemble movie. You know, like Breakfast Club is, because they're in that one spot, in that one experience for the whole movie. There's no set change. There's no, nothing. And I think that's, at least for that movie, that's one of those,
so I've been rewatching Cold Case. It came out a long time ago. But excuse me. It starts out with the murder, right? And it tells you when the date of that, what's going on. And they're playing music from when it is, right? And so every time they come back to memories that people have of whatever happened, that music is playing again. And it's just how, when you think of a song, like lots of people, when they think of Bohemian Rhapsody, they think of Wayne's World. I do not. Right? That song came out when I was in junior high, right? And there's some music that came out when Robert was in junior high, and when I hear it, it brings me back to when he was a little boy.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not nursery rhymes or anything. I'm talking about stuff on the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, it's interesting that how your brain imprints, because I can be watching a particular show, like, okay, I just finished watching this show on Netflix. It was originally a Showtime show, but they put it on Netflix. It's called Your Honor.
Yeah.
It's with Bryan Cranston.
yeah,
And
I started watching it. It looks pretty good.
I was like, it's so good, it's so good, it's so good. I loved the first season. And then I forced myself through the second season, but it is 100 times weaker, in my opinion. Second season. There's all these holes, and I'm mad about it, and someday I'll talk about it, but I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But I was really disappointed in the second season. And so then I finished it, and I was like, I heard that they're not renewing it for the third season, and I'm like, I'm not all busted up about that, because actually all the interesting characters are gone now. Anyway, that's another subject. But all that to say that because I was knitting this while I was watching that, when I pick it up, literally just picking it in my hands, I feel that movie in my memory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like,
Yeah, that's how I am with when you're stitching. Is like what's, well, even now, when I was in when I first started cross stitching that spring, because I started in December, and so that spring I was working on that swan that's in Mom and Dad's room. It's a mother swan and baby swans.
I almost
was
brought
my,
that out here, but
yeah.
I remembered it was Father's Day.
It was my first big project, and so I was working on it that spring, and there was a television show that was on for like maybe 13 episodes because they didn't renew it or whatever, but it was David Soul that used to be on Starsky and Hutch, and it was called Unsub, and I remember like the I guess it was the opening credit scene, whatever, but it was something about a bathtub and whatever, and so that image I remember because I associate it with stitching that.
Isn't that funny? Yeah.
Kit,
So
yeah.
your brain latches onto things. So that's why songs, like I said, doesn't have to be a good song because it, like, all this to say, the St. Elmo's Fire theme song.
Mm-hmm.
When I was young and it was on the radio,
I
hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And they fit St. Elmo's Fire into the song because they're like, we need you to write a song for this movie.
Yeah.
So he wrote a song. It has nothing to do with St. Elmo's Fire, but he puts it in the lyrics. And that kind of thing drives me nuts.
Yeah.
But
I think like the Eye of the Tiger.
Yes. Well, now I hear, well, I don't know, but now I hear St. Elmo's Fire, and I like, oh. Aww. And it's kind of a stupid movie, but I like watching it too. So yeah, it doesn't have to be good. It just has to be nostalgic.
Especially when they fit in why it's called St. Elmo's Fire, and it's like
I know.
it's one little scene.
It's one tiny little scene, but well, no, that's the name of the bar was St. Elmo's. That's another reason they. Yeah. But whatever. But
And if you guys haven't seen that movie, I'm sorry, but we didn't spoil anything for you.
No, it's good. It's just an ensemble.
It's an ensemble piece.
It's just Breakfast Club all grown up.
They had a lot of the same actors in. It was almost like they were. Excuse me.
But that was before the Brat Pack. I think that guy wrote the article about the Brat Pack because of those two movies, which had already been made and out, as far as I understand. So it wasn't like they got the name Brat Pack and so let's. I think it was after that they were trying to be like, let's recreate it all the time, and they all went. Andrew McCarthy said they all just scattered. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it was. The cast was different. Like Andrew McCarthy was not in Breakfast Club. Molly Ringwald was, but Molly Ringwald was not in St. Elmo's Fire. That kind of thing. But then they were together in Pretty in Pink and.
Yeah, it wasn't all the same actors in every single movie, but
Right.
but people acted like it was.
Right.
But it back in the first years of Hollywood, the big golden era of Hollywood, they would have, each studio would have a contract with certain actors. And under that contract, they would just have to act in whatever movie they decided to put them in. Mm-hmm. And so you saw the same actor over and over again, and that's how they became the big name, right? Whereas now, an actor has to prove himself in order to get a big name. Has to be, it's they're acting in whatever roles they pick, and. But they were hiring the same people over and over again. It was almost like they were the same old studio thing.
Yeah. It's good though. But it's a good show. But
I think we should go.
Yeah, I've got to go back to Tempe Yarn and Fiber. I'm sitting here watching a video while we're making this video because I tried to do the bind off the way it described in the pattern, and I'm like, I do not. That's why I was like, and I missed a lot of what you guys were saying because I was like, I don't understand this bind off. But so I'm watching a video and I'm trying to learn it silently. But so we are going to go. Thank you for joining us. Yes. We hope you had a great Father's Day when you watch this, and we will see you back next week.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.